Welcome back, everyone, to NFT Nation, the most relatable and reliable NFT and crypto podcast in the nation. In today's episode, I am blessed to have the CEO of the Crypto Cannabis Club, Ryan Hunter, with me today. Ryan uses his wealth of knowledge as well as his experience inside the crypto space to guide the collection. Ryan has experience in many different business ventures as well as his past work inside the cannabis space. So without further ado, I'll let Ryan introduce himself. How's it going, Ryan?
Hey, Michael, it's going great. Thanks for having me on today. I'm excited to join you.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into these questions and kind of learn more about not only you, but the collection you're working on and the work you all are doing inside the space. And I'm excited to learn more about it. So I think we should hop right into it.
Yeah, let's go, Michael.
Awesome. So kind of to learn more about you, can you kind of give the audience maybe some background on who you are and kind of how you got to where you are right now with the Crypto Cannabis Club?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I started my career in tech in the mid 90s, worked for a really large corporation for about 4 years and realized that I didn't enjoy working for really large corporations. So I spent probably another 10, 15 years, I guess, doing mostly startups on the tech side of things. From 2008 to 2012, I was a financial analyst covering tech stocks on Wall Street for mutual funds and hedge funds, and got a front row seat to the financial crisis at that time after having already gone through the dot-com boom and bust in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I got a lot of experience in the capital markets during that time. After that experience, I went back to tech and ran a startup for 3 more years, had a successful exit from that. And then in 2015, I was trying to figure out what to do next and found my way into the cannabis industry. I've been a cannabis consumer since my late teens. And at that point, cannabis had been legalized where I live and was very interested in getting involved. So I did a couple of different things in the cannabis industry, but the longest tenure I had was 4 years as the chief operating officer for Willie Nelson's cannabis company. And I took that brand from 2 states to 8 states and launched Willie's CBD brand as well. And I met Jim and Kevin, the founders of the Crypto Cannabis Club, last summer, not long after they minted the collection, and I started advising them, and one thing led to another, and I became the CEO at the beginning of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, I can really tell that you have a lot of passion for this space, and not only your kind of credibility as not only like a businessman, but traveling or not just kind of like traveling through the space and moving from big financial kind of businesses into the crypto NFT and slowly transferring those kind of skills you have from the business world into the crypto and like being the CEO of a NFT collection or just like a kind of big collective in general. Would you say that a lot of the skills and practices you use in the business world have kind of transferred over into your leadership role?
I really think it has. It's been a combination of all the experiences, really. My work with tech startups, certainly this is a tech startup, no doubt. So a lot of experience with the ups and downs and the challenges and the surprises that go into building a tech company. Of course, my years in the capital markets helped me to understand how stock markets and asset markets and currency markets work. And I gained a lot of insight from those experiences. It's certainly directly applicable to NFT markets and the trading that happens there. And then lastly, my experience in the cannabis industry. And really that experience is one of the most applicable. And I think it might surprise people to hear that. The reason why is the cannabis industry is very new. So in most industries, you have very well-established business practices, regulations, well-established companies. And in the cannabis industry, that's just not the case. Everything is being built, including the industry itself. And I really think that's very similar to what's happening in Web3 and NFTs. We're really charting exploring uncharted waters, and we're really working on building companies while we're also building the industry. So in a lot of ways, the cannabis industry has more similarities to Web3 than anything else I've done.
So it's kind of cool to see that not only did you step right into the crypto space, you also stepped into the cannabis space when it was new. And it's kind of cool to see that you're bringing those together with this collection. And talking more about the collection in general, the Crypto Cannabis Club. How did you can you explain some of the history of it and how it kind of got to where it is right now?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the two founders, Jim and Kevin, they spent about 8 years working in the cannabis industry, and they also became interested in cryptocurrencies and NFTs and digital assets in 2020. Then in early 2021, they started working on the Crypto Cannabis Club project. They launched that at the end of July, and the collection minted out the first week of August last year. And a person who I've been friends with for a very long time was one of the early supporters of the project, and they introduced me to Jim and Kevin, and I really enjoyed meeting the guys. I was very impressed with their vision and what they had accomplished so far. They initially brought me on board to help them form partnerships with cannabis brands. So we have about 24 different partnerships that provide discounts to our holders, which is a great benefit, anywhere from 10 to 30% off on cannabis products and cannabis consumption accessories. We also have two properties in two different metaverses, one in Crypto Voxels and one in Sandbox. And we'll also be launching a property in Decentraland here in another month. So we're doing a lot there. We have a play to earn game that's going to launch in a couple weeks. And we also have a utility token that provides soft staking benefits to our holders. We launched a second collection in September of last year that we airdropped to all of the holders of our original collection. And that collection is comprised of cannabis plants, and those plants will be used in the play to earn game that I mentioned a little while ago. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is we have members of our community that are on their own forming chapters all across the country and even in other countries around the world, where they're getting together in the real world to hang out, sesh, socialize, that kind of thing. And I actually just got back from a trip to Indianapolis on Sunday, where I got to attend the Indy 500 with our club that's based in Indianapolis. They put that on for us. So that was a really fun experience. We have other events that we produce, some meetups and things. We have a meetup coming up at NFT NYC. We've done them at Art Basel and other events. We also had a spring break trip to Mexico at the end of March, and we hosted a live IRL 420 party in downtown Los Angeles at the end of April for our community members. So we're doing a ton of things, and we've really come a long way. We're pretty close to delivering on everything that we committed to in our 1.0 roadmap, which is really great, and we're excited for what's next.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really enjoyed, because I've been scrolling through not only Discord, but many of the social medias you all put content out on. And I'm seeing that there's people I love to see people hang out in real life that are part of the NFT collection. And it's great to see that a collection is bringing people together. And like talking about bringing people together for those partnerships you were talking about, you're also bringing companies together with your collection. Could you maybe if you want to name drop some big partnerships that you're working on, or anything that is like you're most proud of right now?
Sure. Yeah. So Old Pal, which is a prominent cannabis brand, they're a partner of ours. Heisman, which is Ricky Williams' cannabis company, another important partner of ours. Dr. Dabber, King Palm, Vibes Papers, just to name a few of them. But we're adding more and more almost on a weekly basis. There's some really cool stuff. One of our most recent partners is a website called Neptune Seed Bank. And you can go there and buy cannabis seeds and grow your own. That's one of the coolest ones I think that we've done. But yeah, we're adding more constantly. We're, like I said, we have more than 2 dozen now, and we're adding them almost on a weekly basis.
That's awesome. That just kind of goes to show how much this collection has grown and how much you all are working to make the project bigger and bring more and more people together. And also, I can tell that your role as CEO has definitely helped the collection get bigger and bigger throughout its kind of mid to short term history. But to more just about like the kind of economics of the project and stuff like that. What would be some reasons other than the like the really good art that the NFTs are? What would be some perks that maybe an NFT holder could receive if they join the Crypto Cannabis Club?
Well, I think I just rattled off a bunch of them, but you get, the 2 dozen different discounts that we have partnerships for. We also have our own utility token called Nugs, and we provide soft staking for that. That's an ERC20 token on the Polygon blockchain. And for each day that you don't have your NF token listed for sale, you get 30 nugs. And then those nugs will be used in the game that we're about to release. So you pay the nugs as an entrance fee, a percentage of those get burned, and the remainder gets awarded back as prizes to the players. So those are just a few things. And then, like I said, we also have the IRL events, the spring break trip that we did to Mexico, the event we had in Los Angeles, and then our meetups. Like I said, we have one coming up at NFT NYC at the end of June. Those are all exclusive to our community members that own one of our NFTs.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you kind of mentioned that earlier, but I just wanted to reiterate how important it could be to join the Crypto Cannabis Club for any of the audience out there.
Sure,
But,
you bet.
yeah, yeah.
There's a lot there for sure.
And kind of on those perks and stuff like that, I think a lot of people, it surprised me when I first learned about this. And you all actually have kind of a collab with a like legit, real, like marijuana manufacturer and like producer. Could you kind of talk more about that? I think you maybe mentioned it, but maybe like the real life aspect of actually using the crypto cannabis weed or just like having it in there. Or
Yeah, definitely. We did. We have a partner in California, and we launched our own cannabis brand in California. We worked with the partner to go through about a dozen different kinds of cannabis. I narrowed that down to what I thought were the top 6 choices. And then our community voted on their top 3 out of those 6. So we produced product of 3 different cannabis strains, and those are available for sale in California through a delivery service called Camp Nova Online. And if you go to Camp Nova Online, you can order the product. They're $50 a piece for an 1/8 ounce of cannabis. And then if you own one of our NFTs, you get a 30% discount. So you get $50 cannabis for $35. And one of the coolest things is the packaging is scannable. There's an RFID tag on the packaging. And if you scan the package, you can download an NFT of the packaging art to your wallet. So it's a way for us to introduce cannabis consumers to NFTs, as well as providing a real world benefit for our community members.
Yeah, awesome. That's just another reason to maybe join the Crypto Cannabis Club for any of the audience out there. And also, it's kind of good to see that you all are actually building stuff in the real world. I can tell this collection is going to have a future, and especially a really bright future, because you all are actually planning on doing things and planning on creating things, not only just like stuff with the metaverse property and many things like that. You're also building inside the real world, which people love to see, and especially just when people probably hold that weed or that like just that certain strain in their hand, they're like, wow, this is from an NFT collection. Like, this is crazy. Like that like this is like this is real, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of mind blowing for sure. There's other cannabis companies that have launched NFTs, and there's other NFT collections that are now starting to offer their own cannabis products. So it's exciting to see where this goes, especially as being one of the early innovators in the space.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of with the community aspect too, those are the people that are actually going to get those perks and rewards and stuff like that. Could you kind of talk about like how many people are in the community and like how much you are expecting to grow?
Yeah, we have on, yeah, let me kind of go through a few numbers here for you. On Twitter, we have about 45,000 followers. And so I think those are the people that are just kind of interested in seeing what's going on with the CCC. Then we have about 25,000 subscribers to our Discord. And I think those are the folks that are really more involved, really more interested in it. And then for our Genesis collection, the NF Tokers, there's a little under 4,500 wallets that own that collection. So those are the people that own the NFTs today. And then, as I said, we're doing a lot to increase the value of those NFTs. We have a play to earn game, metaverse properties, IRL events and experiences. We have the Nugs token to provide staking benefits. But we're working to add even more. And we'll also add some more collections, and the new collections will have their own set of benefits. And that'll be a way for us to bring even more people into the community.
Yeah, that's dope. I love to see. I love to hear about that. Just how you all actually have a plan of growth, and y'all are expecting to grow, even though kind of NFTs and stuff might be losing in favor in the kind of current market or whatever. But that's just kind of how market cycles work. These communities don't have kind of value like a crypto could be, and these that's why these communities are going to stay together, because it's not really as tied monetarily as just like a cryptocurrency. You're not seeing like a price go up and down. Like the community is just a community. So I think especially with these NFT collections, maybe like the price or something might be falling, but that community and that trust that's building is like ever expanding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we sure hope so.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that even though things might be like prices might be falling on a certain collection, like people are still sticking together. But to kind of get off that sad part, you could say, since you are kind of the CEO and you are a main head of this collection, could you kind of talk about like maybe your day to day kind of jobs and what you do as the CEO of a NFT collection?
Sure, I'd be happy to. A lot of what I do is just overseeing the different initiatives that we have going on. Like I said, we have a bunch of different projects that we're working on. So making sure that those are staying on track, and seeing if we have any issues with them is a big part of what I do. I also engage directly with our community. I'm on Discord every day and on Twitter every day, interacting and communicating with our community members, especially the community members that have significant ownership in the collection. So I'm in close contact with them on a very regular basis. I'm also in conversations with our various partners that provide benefits to the community, the group that's developing our play to earn game. We have a PR agency, we have marketing contractors. So there's just a lot of work that goes into organizing all of those things. And that's what takes up most of my day.
Yeah, I can. Obviously, just because it's labeled as an NFT collection does not mean that it is or not easy to control, if that makes sense. And I can tell that as the CEO, you obviously have your hands full, and that's another reason why I wanted to thank you for joining me today. Just because I know you are a busy man, but could you kind of explain more on how maybe anyone listening here today could find out more about the Crypto Cannabis Club and maybe even become a member?
Sure, I'd be happy to, and I'm excited to be here. This is part of the job too that I really love, getting to tell people about what we're up to. So a few different ways you can learn more about us. I think the easiest and the quickest way is to follow us on Twitter at Crypto Cannabis Club. That's our Twitter handle, so you can follow us on Twitter. We put lots of information up there throughout the day. We also have a channel on Medium where I put longer form updates to give the community updates on the progress that we're making. And certainly when we run into challenges, I talk about those as well. And then our Discord server is another great resource to learn more about the project. So I think between Twitter, our Medium channel, and our Discord, there's a lot of information available.
Awesome. Yeah. And if anyone in the audience is looking to follow or get any of those links, I will have them in the description of this episode so you can easily access them. But to kind of wrap this up a little bit, I asked the same question to every podcast guest, and that is, if you could have any superpower and why, what would it be?
Ooh, if I could have any superpower and why? Man, that's a good one, Michael. I haven't thought about that a lot. I've got the powers. I like the powers that I have. Um, I think for me, maybe having a special power to cure illnesses. I know it sounds a little cheesy, but
Mm-hmm.
I've as we all have been through some tough times in my life and my family, and those are the things that stand out, where you just feel so helpless when someone you love is suffering and there's something that you wish that you could do but can't. Those are the times when I've really felt like when I've really felt like I couldn't do anything, and that's probably when you need the superpower the most.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a great answer. We'd love to kind of hear that, and that'd be a really good power. I think a lot of people in the audience could resonate with that. But thank you. I want to thank you again for coming on today, and also I want to thank the audience for listening today. You all are the reason both Ryan and I are here. But if you want to continue following the podcast, feel free to check out any of our social medias. It is at NFT_Nation_podcast on all of the social medias. That is Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. And feel free to leave 5 stars on this Spotify, on this kind of podcast account. It really helps us grow. It lets Spotify know that even though we are small, people actually enjoy our content, and share us with a friend if you maybe want them to join the Crypto Cannabis Club and learn about someone that's actually doing real work, inside the cannabis and crypto space. So yeah, with that kind of that out of the way, Ryan, is there anything else you'd like to say before we head out here?
Oh, I think that's it, Michael. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate you. Looking forward to hearing the podcast.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you all for coming on, and have a good one, guys.